What we rep, Lafayette, Jeff, Broncos, let's go. All cash, no brakes, LJ for air, let's play. What we rep, Lafayette, Jeff, Broncos, let's go. All cash, no brakes, LJ for air, let's play. What we rep, Lafayette, Jeff, Broncos.
Welcome to Week 6 edition of the All Gas No Brakes podcast with me, head coach Pat Shanley, and me, Eli Moody. Big win this week over the Richmond Red Devils. Coach?
Yeah, good way to start conference play on the road, 2.5-hour bus ride. We talked about conference season and how it's important to us to play well in the conference, and I thought for the most part we came out and played fairly clean. There's still several things that need to get addressed and need to be fixed, but one thing that we set out this week to improve upon was penalties and discipline, and I felt like overall we were pretty clean in that department on Friday night against Richmond.
And another thing that, I remember playing at Richmond my sophomore year, and the energy was just dead the whole way there. You said something about that in the huddle. But, this year, it felt like there was a lot of energy on the sideline, and just, it felt like 12th man really attacked it that game.
Yeah, we don't want to take any Friday nights for granted. So anytime you get to put on our Jeff jersey and play with your friends and people that you grew up with, it's a special opportunity that we don't want to waste. We had a guest speaker talk this week about, maximizing your 24 as kind of part of our pregame speech, and it seemed like everybody really kind of took that to heart. So regardless of what their roles were on Friday night, we felt like we got the best from everybody in respect to their effort and their energy.
And then let's get to it. Quarterback Tristan Barrett with another great night, 10 for 14 and 4 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he played well. We did have 1 sack. I think it was more on him than the offensive line. But and 1 pick. So those are things we've got to clean up. To be honest with you, he wasn't super thrilled with his performance at times in between drives. And again, he's just a competitive kid. He wants to make the perfect pass and make the right play each and every time. So if he's not, again, he's competitive, so you're going to know that. Pardon me. He played well. He played well. I thought we did a good job kind of spreading touches around. And again, I think it's another week by our offensive line where they continue to kind of sharpen the blade a little bit and play at a higher level each and every week.
Speaking of the offensive line, with 10.9 yards per carry and 4 rushing touchdowns by the running backs, and the offensive line pushing the running backs. Yeah.
Again, Marquise, I think he had another touchdown. So I don't know exactly what his number is. Might have had 2. So I think he's up to 13 on the season. Tavares is averaging almost 10 yards a carry on the season. He continues to kind of maximize his touches. Again, both those guys, they have room to improve too. And Des Shazier, we talked about him a little bit last week. He came in, he had 3 carries and really showed what he's capable of doing as well. So, those guys played well. And again, O-line, if you're averaging over 10 yards a carry, regardless of who the opponent is, you're clearly playing at a high level.
And then the 4 touchdowns by the receivers, 2 were really huge at the time when they scored them.
Yeah. Again, I thought we did a good job kind of spreading touches around. We had I think 35 total offensive snaps in the game, so there wasn't a lot of volume in terms of plays. But again, within the framework of the offense, I thought all those guys made plays when they were called upon.
And then the D-line just dominating all game like they have the last couple of weeks here. Ever since they were challenged, it feels like they just keep stepping their game up.
Yeah, and again, I think defensively as a whole, we gives our second highest yards per rush and rushing total that we gave up on the season. Pass defense continued to remain strong, continued to get pressure. Aiden H is up to either 7 or 8 sacks, broke the school record for season and career sacks on the season. But again, teams are understanding that they can't just focus on him because there's other guys across that front that are able to get pressure as well. So, defense played well. They did what we wanted them to do for the most part. But again, I know Coach Cronk. You guys know him well. He's a perfectionist, and there's plenty to fix coming out of this game.
And then Ben Pickering, I wanted to talk about that. Comes off the field bleeding and then comes right back in the game as soon as he can.
Yeah, we're accepting donations for his bloody jersey. I think that's pretty much ruined. So there's some pretty bad bloodstains. It kind of looked like a throwback. Like, you see the guys with the cowboy collars and neck rolls and blood on their face. Pickering looked like that. Brian Cushing, they shoved a couple things up his nose, and he was right back in the game. He's a tough kid, man. And he's playing well. We're glad he made the decision and choice to play football his senior year and finish things out with his buddies. The guy throws 90 miles per hour, high-level baseball kid, but he's a really, really good football player too, and he's a tough kid.
And then the DBs with another great night, forcing 4 turnovers. Yeah.
Again, it's a group that's playing well. You have Cam Bennett and Keyshawn Burns both seem to get better week to week. Kavion Campbell, obviously, he got his first Division I offer last week from Ball State, but he continues to play at a high level. And then the freshman by the name of Calvin Portis that Bronco fans are going to hear his name for many, many years. Is a kid that is very, very coachable, very explosive, very dynamic, and very, very intelligent. High IQ for a football player. But those guys continue to play at a high level and seem to get better week after week.
And speaking of Calvin, in your time as a coach, how many 4-year starters have you had?
Not many. Peyton Price played a lot as a freshman. Stephen Stephanie came up towards the end of his freshman year and played. We had guys that have lettered as freshmen, but very few that have been like starters. That might be the 3 off the top of my head.
Did Moody start from the start?
Yes, yep, you're right. He says, thank you. I knocked the cobwebs off my brain there. He started about halfway through his freshman year and had a very productive season, and Bishop Johnson also started as a freshman and played quite a bit. Both those guys were starters in 2016. Peyton started in 2017, and I don't recall exactly when Stevens' freshman year was, but he ended up starting the sectional championship game against Carmel as a freshman as well. So, yeah, not a lot, but that speaks to how talented Calvin is, because that is elite company that his name's being mentioned with right there.
And then also special teams just overall dominated the game, getting them within the 10 multiple times, and kicker Madden Gifford just going 8 for 8.
Yeah, he's getting back healthier. He's kind of had some things that he's battling, but Bobby had a 55-yard punt. Jason Thomas had a scoop and score. That kid is continuing to get better week to week. I think he's a Division I caliber player, and he continues to attack and stay positive, whether he's playing on Fridays or Saturdays. He's very, very good, very long, very explosive. And he really buys in. Coach Rivas singing his praises on everything that he's doing to contribute in respect to special teams. But, yeah, Madden played well. Our snaps were good. Bobby the boot, Hoffman with the 55-yard punt. Those guys are really dialed into their role, and they really take pride in what they do, and it's fun to see them continue to get better week to week as well.
So you say developmental program, and how does it, like, when you see that overall every single part of your program is winning right now, and with everybody in the high school level is 4-1, how does what does it feel like as a coach?
Like we have work to do. Yeah, you can't relax. You can't take your foot off the gas. Freshmen had a big win on Saturday, won by 3 scores over CMA. Their CMA's JV team. That team physically, they had several juniors that they were playing. CMA did. And our freshmen really kind of took it to them. So they've got a chance to avenge their week 1 loss. They play at Chittard this Saturday. So it'll be fun to see, if we've really made progress or not as they go down there and play Chittard again. But, yeah, man, we want to win at all levels, and we talk about this a lot, whether it's Friday nights or Saturday mornings. If you put that Jeff jersey on, there's a standard and there's expectations. And, for the most part, our kids continue to take pride in that. And I talked to our guys about this on Friday after the game. In 24, we had a senior class of 15 kids. And I bet you about 10 of those kids were playing JV as juniors and really took pride in it. And they developed and they got better and they maximized the reps. And then as seniors, they really took off. Andre Fancher was a JV kid that had 87 catches as a senior. Isaiah Buchanan was a kid that was a JV kid as a junior that was, really probably could have been and should have been all-area, all-conference that had Indiana Wesleyan wanting to come play for him. He's at Anderson with Day-Day. Several offensive linemen that have gone on to play college football that were JV kids as juniors starting as seniors. Here's a cool stat, and I like. Here, if we wanted to see instant progress on the fruits of our labor as coaches, we'd go work construction, right? We got to play the long game and coach our young guys and coach everybody throughout every level of our program and trust the process, if you will, and then we continue to see the progress. Our freshmen got beat. You got beat by McCutcheon as a freshman, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep, twice. We got swept that year.
Got beat twice by McCutcheon. And turn around and beat them 42-0 as a senior. Now, it's still a team we're probably going to see in the sectional, so we can't take our foot off the gas. I'm sure they are watching our tape and all that, so I'm not beating our chest about that. But again, I think it speaks volumes to our kids' work ethic, how serious our coaches, work at developing them, how hard our kids attack what OGD's doing and what he's programming for you guys. We are a developmental program, so we got to maximize our reps and really take every opportunity that we have to step between those lines to compete really hard, make mistakes and get coached up and continue to get better. So I'm glad you asked that question. Yeah, we're 4-1 at all three levels of our program. I'd be a little bit happier if we were 5-0 at all three levels of our program. There's still work to be done.
And then the personal spotlight this week is the positive emails that we got this week.
Yeah, so I'll pull out my phone here. Came in this morning, had an email from Mr. Preston from the White Hat on Friday night. So, we really wanted to improve our overall level of discipline. And it's still something that we've got to continue to work on. And we'll continue to preach the things to our kids and hopefully that our player-led culture will continue to produce things like this. So, dear Lafayette Jeff administration, I was a White Hat and crew chief last night for your game. I want to drop a note and express how awesome your team was against Richmond. Every time we talked to a player, it was yes, sir, no, sir, thank you, sir. And there was a couple times where things could have gotten sideways, but your kids kept their cool and walked away. And the email goes on just kind of singing our kids' praises. So again, Sam King justifiable to write the article that he wrote following the Harrison game. However many penalties and yards we had. Lafayette Jeff's got to be a disciplined team, and he's right. That should have been the title of the article. But we have to continue to get better. Lafayette Jeff, this is another one. Positive report from the IHSA written by one of the officials on Friday night. Urim Hernandez showed tremendous sportsmanship during the game. When he was in, he would continuously help the opposing team players up off the ground throughout the whole game and always give the official the ball and hustled on and off the field. Players like him is what makes a game pleasure to ref. His school, Lafayette Jeff, should be proud and honored to have this young gentleman playing for their team. I also want to thank the school and the coach staff for promoting sportsmanship on the field. So, again, these are things that we're working really hard to build. We really want our kids to be nasty between the whistles and gentlemen off the field. And I think that's a lot of what we have. So we got to continue to make progress, like we said, coming out of that Harrison game, to continue to be a more disciplined group. But I want to shout out those guys because we are doing a lot of good things. Our kids are doing a lot of good things.
Well, that's awesome, Coach. And thank you guys for watching another episode of the All Gas No Breaks podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. All right, from five.
Five again. All right, here we go.
4, 3, 2, 1. Go
Broncos.
What we rep, Lafayette Jeff, Broncos, let's go. All gas, no brakes, LJ for air, let's play. What we rep, Lafayette Jeff, Broncos, let's go. All gas, no brakes, LJ for air, let's play. What we rep, Lafayette Jeff, Broncos,